Hi everyone, happy day's going well, and it's going to get better, isn't it, because we're doing maths. So, what better way could you want to spend your day with doing some maths here? Don't answer that maybe, but no, well, this will be good fun, because at the end of this, you'll know how to do every fraction multiplied by a whole number. And you might sit there and think, yeah, I know how to do that already, but like always, guys, we look at different strategies, and there might be a strategy that comes up that might be more favourable for you to use. So let's have a look at this. First thing is going to be that it's going to be a fraction of a whole number, all right? I won't put the whole number up yet. One, because I haven't thought about it, and two, because I'd like us to think about what fraction that we're dealing with, all right, and put it in perspective. So we can say that we've got 3 out of 8. What does that actually mean to you? You might think, okay, well that means it's 4 out of 8 is half, so I don't get half of whatever that total is. That's a good way to look at it. We get a bit less than half. It also means that something has been chopped up into 8 even pieces. Like always, our bottom number, denominator, tells us what it's been chopped up into, and our top number tells us how many of those pieces we get. So in this case, we get 3 out of 8. It means that we didn't get 5 out of 8. Well done. Yeah, we didn't get 5 out of 8. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So we've got 3 out of 8 of a certain number. So that number is 24. All right. So when, just again, the answer is going to be 9. Okay, but I'm not interested in the answer. What I'm interested in is how do we solve these in the most efficient manner, or building up a bank of strategies to solve these and understanding what's going on. All right, so we're going to get 3 eighths out of 24. 24 is going to be chopped into 8 even pieces. We get 3 of them. All right, a number of ways to do it, but like I said, I'll show you perhaps this way that we could use with every one of these. So we make it a bit more user-friendly by saying 3 eighths is the same as 3 eighths. Yeah, that makes sense so far. Of is the same as times, and 24 is the same as saying 24 over 1. So I've just made 24 an improper fraction, where the numerator is bigger than the denominator. And of course, if we looked at that, when we do have an improper fraction, usually we would say, well, how many times will 1 go into 24? 24 times, that would make it a proper fraction. Yeah, well, we see that 24 over 1 is the same as 24. Anyway, let's skip that bit. So we can actually do this, what it says. We could say 3 times 24, and that's 72, I think, and then 8 times 1 is 8. So we've come up with our answer of 72 out of 8, which is correct, right? I can't argue that it's not correct, but what I would argue with is that the most efficient or effective answer, probably not, because that doesn't mean much to me, 72 out of 8. So what we could do then, as we've done here, we try and make an improper fraction proper fractions, okay? So we could do that by saying 8, that's the same as, equals, same as 8 plus 8, plus another 8 plus 8. And if you think I'm going to write them all out, you're wrong, because we're looking at efficiency here. But certainly that would be right. We're making them whole numbers, okay? And we could count them up to make our 9. Or, because you guys, yeah, all of you, good, except, oh no, you know, you're good. All of you know times tables, so we would just say, rather than writing it out, how many times will 8 go into 72? Counting them up, hopefully you know automatically that that's going to be 9, okay? So that's one way of doing it. Another way, probably even more efficient, don't call out though, you're right, it's a good word to use, but without the calling out, is simplify. Yeah, let's simplify these guys, so it makes it, we don't have to do a long process without dividing or multiplying, all right? Because if these numbers get bigger, we don't want to be doing long multiplication and then a short division, which takes us a bit longer. So let's make it efficient, and as the word says simplify. Let's make it simple. So as we know, if we look back to our fraction knowledge, these guys are on the same team, and these guys are on the same team because they're going to be combined, okay? And as we know, to make an equivalent fraction, if we multiply or divide the numerator as long as we multiply or divide the denominator by the same number, we're going to get an equivalent fraction. Okay, so I could multiply that by 2, and I could multiply any of these bottom numbers, because they're on the same team, by 2, and we would get an equivalent fraction. So I could do that, and I could make that 6 16ths. And then again, I know, thanks for not calling out, because I know you're saying, well, that's not making it simpler. I don't think so either, but it's just showing, of course, about our equivalent fraction knowledge. And so we try to divide, don't we? So let's have a look at this, and we can divide that by 3, but we can't divide any of those by 3, so we have to leave the 3. And because you do know your times tables, you'll be saying divide that one by 8, because you can divide that one by 8. Okay? So let's make this, move it down here so we can see it a bit easier. 8 divided by 8 is 1. We're still timesing, we didn't do anything to the 3. 24 divided by 8 is 3. And we didn't do anything to the 1. So again, just reminding us that that is exactly the same as that, and that is exactly the same as that. We're equivalent fractions here. We're making these equivalent, we're making them easier to do. Because 3 times 3 is pretty easy to do. It's easier than 3 times 24. And 1 times 1 is 1. And up here I think we had 72 divided by 8. Again, that's pretty easy to do. If we get to bigger numbers, it's going to be harder. And this is a lot easier to do once we simplify. We say, well, it's an improper fraction. 1 goes into 9 about 9 times. So that's what we come up with our answer of 9 again. Of course, they're going to be the same answer. It's math that makes sense. But also it makes sense that we said that half was 4/8. So half would be 12. We get an answer a bit less than 12. All right? So we're going to do some exercise, as in physical exercise, but we're going to do some math exercise using this. Keep looking at it, guys. Don't just go, put your head down and go, bang, 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 this is how to do it. Keep looking at it, take a step back and say, what's actually going on here, okay? And what would be the most efficient way to do these? Okay, hope you enjoy it.